Hi guys, it's Crystal with Design Bundles. Today I want to do a versus video. We're going to do a gold glitter mug versus a white mug. Both of these are sublimation blanks, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's start off with designing our mug. So I've got this full wrap design already ready to go, but I'm going to use custom canvas to get the correct size. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to inches, and I'm going to input the correct numbers for the dimensions of my mug. So then at that point, I can bring my design in. As you guys can see, it's designed for a full wrap. All I have to do is size it out from edge to edge, and it's going to be the perfect size every single time. Now all we have to do is send this over to our printer. So I'm going to choose the correct printer if you have more than one. And then I'm going to tell it it's US letter, make sure it's mirrored. And then I'm going to choose that it's a ceramic mug. And then I'm going to use TruePix Classic for my paper today. And I'm going to use the vivid settings. And then before I send it over to the printer, I'm going to hit 2 copies. That way I send 2 of these designs over at the same time so they can be printed out on one sheet of paper. So it's going to bring us over to the print manager. And at this point, I like to go to layout so that way I can change my spacing. As you guys can see here, both of the designs are touching each other, which I run that risk of cutting into one or the other. So if you come to spacing, you can add just 0.1, 0.2, and you're going to get a perfect gap in between so you can cut these apart. So let's go ahead and hit print, send it over to the printer. And as you guys can see, I've got that perfect gap. So if you're going to use a paper trimmer or even a pair of scissors, you're going to have a much easier time cutting those apart. So that's another tip from me. And as you can see, they printed out on one sheet of paper, so I didn't have to waste an extra paper or anything like that. I recommend that with cell phone cases and all sorts of things. So definitely make sure you send more than one and they will combine over on the Sawgrass Print Manager, and then at that point you can choose to space them apart however much you're going to need. All right, so at this point I'm just kind of quickly trimming through this with a pair of scissors. I'm always showing you guys with a paper trimmer, so I thought today I would just quickly show you guys with a pair of scissors. You can definitely pull this off. I do like more of a straight edge because you do run the risk of cutting into your design. Using a paper trimmer is a lot safer. So you're going to need some heat resistant tape and you're going to need some parchment paper. I highly recommend using parchment paper. You don't have to, you can use copy paper. I just like to protect my mug press. So I'm going to go ahead and get this design centered up. So what I like to do is just kind of lay my mug down there on the center, have my handle facing straight up. Then at this point, I will just keep my handle facing straight up and I will just eyeball and even this up between the handle. So on each side of that handle, I'm just making sure that there is an even amount. Once I'm happy with it, I'll take and tape one side down and then I'm going to pull the other side nice and tight. So I'm going to pull this nice and tight, tape it down, and then it's going to be ready for its parchment paper. So let's go ahead and move on to the white one. Now, as you guys can see with the gold one, I didn't use a lint roller or alcohol or anything like that because I've not had any issues with the glitter. I have not seen any specks or anything like that. But with the white mugs, sometimes you can get these little blue marks and stuff like that, or it will show up the lint. It almost looks like little hairline cracks in your mug. So highly recommend, make sure you clean it first. I mostly use alcohol, but next to me I did have a lint roller, so you can do that. But mostly I recommend just using alcohol and a cloth. So now I'm going to go ahead and do that exact same thing for the white mug. Now, the reason why I wanted to do a versus today, because I thought it would be really cool to take this exact same design and take a look at it, because the gold, this is going to be, if you notice, there's a lot of yellow and gold into the design. So I'm going to be putting that on the gold mug. So a lot of that's going to wash out just to kind of show you. Now, if this was a silver mug, it really would have popped. If this was one of the pink mugs and things like that. But I want you guys to see this for yourself to see. You want to be careful when you are using a colored product to not put color on top of color because it's going to wash itself out. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to show you guys this today. And just to kind of show you how much more it's going to pop on the white with something like this. Because if you have not already seen my video where I've showed you guys the glitter mug, make sure you guys definitely check that out because they do pop on there, but in certain circumstances, they may not, just like others. So be careful with those colors. Make sure you're choosing something that is not the exact same color. So I'm going to go ahead and press that one. Now, if you guys have not already tried out the Cricut mug press, the way that it works is you simply turn it on. Once it's green, it's ready to go. It already has the temp and the time for you set, so you don't have to fiddle with any of that stuff. Even though I'm using this glitter mug that is not a Cricut brand, it's basically the exact same materials, and so it works in the exact same way. And this glitter mug is the same size as the white one, so they are pretty much identical in size. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now, I know that Cricut says theirs are 12 ounce and then the glitter mug would be 11 ounce, but they are pretty similar. All right, so normally you can let this just completely cool down, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and get into this. Make sure you guys use heat resistant gloves because ceramic is very, very hot. Never touch it with your hands. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and peel this away just to show you how bright and vibrant this is on a white mug. Like you would have expected in the beginning to see the gold one maybe do something a little bit more shiny than the white. So I just want to show you with this tone on tone. I really love these full wrap designs. They're super cool. There is a ton of them to choose from, and this one is actually only 1+ credit. So if you guys are a Plus member, you guys can actually get this for 1+ credit. And if you're not, there's definitely other ones to purchase on the site. Lots and lots of full wrap. Now, if you guys haven't seen my other full wrap videos, definitely make sure you guys check it out below. I've got a ton of vibrant ones you got to check out. All right, so here is my gold one. As you guys can see, if my paper came off inside, I wanted to show you, definitely don't stick your hands in there, super hot, but you want to get it right away because it is hot and it's paper, so I just use like tweezers or scissors to pull that out. So here is the gold one, and as you can see, that color washed out in there. The black is very vibrant, but because of those browns and the, gold colors, yellow, it all blended in. Now you can see a little bit of those honeycomb pieces there. That's why I kind of wanted to zoom in there just to show you that. But this really, really washed out. Now you may like the way that this turned out, but it really washed out. So be mindful for those colors. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.